In this video, I'm going to show you how I make a realistic Venom figure using 3D printing. I walk you where I got the model, how I assembled it, finished it and painted it, breaking down each step so it's easy for beginners to follow. I hope this video inspires you to try your own creative projects, even if you are not a Marvel fan or a figure collector. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Honestly, I only found out about Venom pretty recently. I had no idea who he was or where he came from, but right away he seemed creepy and off-putting to me. That gross long tongue, huge sharp teeth, like slime. Still, I decided to take on this project and make my own Venom figurine. Why? It's all about the history of this character. It turns out that behind this outwardly terrifying monster, there is an interesting story with an important message for us all.
Venom was first introduced in 1984 in the Amazing Spider-Man comic as a new black suit for Spider-Man, which turned out to be an alien with its own consciousness. Later, Venom became a standalone character fighting against Spider-Man and symbolizing the struggle with inner demons. The creators wanted to explore duality, the battle between good and evil within a single being. Venom's creator Tom DeFalco described him as a kind of dark side of Spider-Man, bringing out his hidden fears and instincts. How did they portray his dark side, the essence of evil and terror? The creator used classic visual elements. First, they made Venom black, a color often associated with movie antagonists. Making a villain black is a clear way to emphasize a destructive and dark nature. To make Venom look like a truly monstrous creature that triggers primal fear, the artist gave him a massive teeth and a long, cooling tongue, as if he ready to attack and devour his prey at any moment. Venom's eyes are large, wide and lack defined pupils. This makes him appear less human and more alien. Eyes are usually how we read emotions and glimpse someone's inner world, but with Venom that's impossible. To highlight Venom's physical power, he has an enormous muscular build. Artist Todd McFarlane added white veins, similar to the veins on a weightlifter, which accentuate his intense muscularity and strength. These veins also resemble webs, subtly hinting at his connection to Spider-Man, just like the spider emblem on his chest and back, which only appears in stories related to Spider-Man. But why, despite his frightening and menacing appearance, do we feel empathy for Venom? How can a creature so repulsive evoke sympathy? It all comes down to his personality and character. To survive, the symbiote needs a host, so it's forced to learn how to interact and eventually cooperate with them. Instead of simply dominating, it begins to understand the concept of partnership and acceptance. Over time, a being created for destruction starts developing a sense of humanity. An internal conflict emerges that gradually transforms Venom's character, and it's fascinating to watch this process unfold.
Venom is a hugely popular character among 3D printing enthusiasts. On the Cult's website alone, there are over 2,500 different models. But we found our perfect Venom on ArtStation, created by Stefan Mattis. A huge thanks to him for such an incredibly detailed and high-quality model. It's a paid model and costs $29. The model is split into parts, making printing and post-processing easier. We'll print everything on a resin printer. The building will be printed in a white resin, as we'll be painting it in lighter tones. Venom himself will be printed in black resin, while the head will be in white to preserve detail when painting the teeth. After printing, the parts are rinsed in water. Supports are removed and then cured under a UV lamp. Areas where the supports were attached are sanded down. We'll start with the building. First, I prime it with a white acrylic primer using a brush. Once it's dry, I painted it with acrylic paint as the base layer. I use pastel to add shades and details. The pieces are assembled using standard glue. For the roof seam, I added a bit of grass. I used a regular dish sponge, cut it into tiny pieces, mixed it with green paint and glue, and carefully applied it along the seam. To hide the seams between glued parts, I use UV gel. Then I paint over the gel with paint and pastel. The whole building is sealed with matte parquet varnish. For the alien slime, I initially made it transparent. But I didn't like the result. It really needed to be black. So I redid it using black lacquer, and it looked much better. Now for Venom. Starting with the head, I apply acrylic primer as the base. I paint the eyes using white nail gel that cures under UV light. This gives a slightly cloudy effect that's hard to achieve with regular paint. Mouth and tongue are painted with acrylic paint, with pastel used to create color nuances. Fine details are painted with a thin brush, and I give the teeth a slightly yellow tint. The rest of the head is painted black with acrylic paint. After assembling the two head pieces, I carefully paint over the seam. Next is the body. I start with the white raised parts on the arms, chest and back, filling them with the same UV gel for nails used for the eyes. For the veins, I draw them in with a white marker. To give Venom a glossy finish, regular varnish, even super glossy, wasn't enough. So I used transparent UV resin for that extra shine. Finally, I assemble Venom. I start with the legs using two-component glue. To seal the seams, I apply clear UV gel followed by a more liquid gellery resin. The arms and head I attach the same way. And that's it! Here it is, our new pet. It's amazing how my initial disgust turned into admiration. Venom is such a cool character with an intriguing story and relevant philosophical layer about the inner struggle between good and evil, a battle we all face. I hope you watch movies with an eye for characters' deeper essence, make interesting discoveries and maybe even fall in love with them a little. That's what my hobby helps me do. Maybe you feel inspired to try this project yourself. I'd be thrilled if my video brings you even a bit of inspiration. See you soon!